What's good? I was wrestling with my bro today. Had a good little session, but the sweat was pouring down in my eyes, man. Because we were going for a minute with this kind of standing grappling. Uh, little it was pretty fun, but I went outside because I was kind of I had so much sweat, man. It was just in my eyes, it was burning me, and I was just blind for a second, which was kind of cool, but it was kind of weird too. But when I went outside, I kind of, felt God revealing something to me. It's like you can always stand on the certain thing. It doesn't matter so much, I guess we've all done wrong things, right? But it's the innocent that have already died and nothing's happened to no one over it. The innocent were just died. There's no justice. You can always you gotta bring in remembrance the blood of the innocent. The innocent, are children. They're killed in many ways through wars, through people making money schemes, and now there's an actual agenda to kill children. This is innocent blood. When you false flag someone and then go kill tribes of people, that's innocent blood. And there's just a lot of innocent blood out there. We don't even hear the whole. But I know in Africa they hack off people's arms, chop off people's heads, kill Christians, and it ain't just Christians. I mean, little babies all around the world who are innocent, and people kill them for whatever the reason. They're satanic blood rituals, or just because hey, it's the agenda, depopulation. Yeah, carbon tax. You got to pay your carbon taxes. That's children. You got to pay in children, and family members, I guess. But uh there's just and you see the people shot down by police. I mean, you see that dude who got beat to death, that white guy who got beat to death by like 10 cops, and he was crying out. He was like, "Dead." It was all sad and like real. You know, these are bad things. Uh, and wars, fake wars and stuff like that, and real wars where real people die, real innocent people die, and for false reasons. That is the shedding of innocent blood. And God kind of the prophets when they killed the prophets, killing men for reasons they shouldn't have killed them, innocent. Jesus, you know, uh, he was killed and he was innocent, and that's a reminder that he's a reminder himself. He came into the earth and died innocent of anything worthy of death. So, and there's other people that suffer a similar fate, though they're not the son of God. But he was even so common. He came and got killed like a common person. You know what I mean? So by a corrupt political system, and it shed more shedding of innocent blood. And he had to do that to even show us that the system was wrong. I mean, he didn't have to overthrow the system when he just showed you how it's corrupt. Why is an innocent man being condemned? You know, and or why are these innocent children be given death vaccinations? And like, listen, you want to know what the adult fun camps is? The FEMA camp's gonna be like. Watch some tapes of Guantanamo. You know what I'm saying? That's what this it's like. They're already setting up these little ambush centers in like Chicago, where I heard they shoot you up with heroin in the police station and put a black bag over your head. And I watched that's how they train Israeli intelligence over there in the Shin Bet. Because I seen a documentary called Gatekeepers. It was all in subtitles and it was all in Israeli language. So it was a political movie. It just showed how security sometimes can just become so you become Nazi like, and they entertain that. Our nation is becoming this too, but they're working in concert with these guys and training this paranoid level of Cold War paranoia propaganda tactics. But I mean, there is real tumult and turmoil going on. I mean, looks like we're on the edge of red horse of the apocalypse, and the black horse. But and then I'm even thinking, likewise, if Obama could be Screwface, maybe the Pope Screwface, and I just got this backwards. Because there's the beast of the earth and the beast of the sea, and I think somehow these two guys seem to be connected, but it could be a deception, But see, these people no longer cry out for justice for the innocent blood. Who cries out for justice of the innocent blood? We know all this innocent blood has been spilled in the past and is even being spilled right now for false reasons, and God just made me remember that, and it's just it's quite sad, that these things happen, and maybe some of the elect are some of these people that got these innocents that got killed for, and just they were sitting in the house and a bomb blew up, but they were pure of heart, you know what I mean, or whatnot, and without sin and virgins. Uh, we, and it's just the elect of the 12 tribes, so it's got to be a certain number of every tribe, and this just goes to show you these. Here's the second part. I was talking about the spirit of Egypt and the spirit of bondage. Another part of the spirit of Egypt and bondages is they make you forget who you are. And I even mentioned that in the other video, but I didn't realize how important that is. I mean, they really didn't teach the slaves who they were. You know what I'm saying? That we're in America. And then a lot of people didn't even know who they were just because they forgot over time too, which is it's a curse. It was a curse of the tribes that got separated. He said it was like, if you do this, these people will be separated and lost for until otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Until they're gathered again. But this is another part of it. If they divorce you from your history, from your nationality or your ethnicity, I prefer ethnicity, because ethnicities like the Ojibwe were in Canada and Michigan. And people like the Apache were into Mexico and Arizona. You know what I'm saying? For at times, so they weren't. It wasn't like it is European, where everything's staked and marked off and everything's owned and bought off and sold. You know what I'm saying? So these things moved and migrated a little bit. So territories shifted. Uh, but this is part of the thing. Like, remembering who you are is a key to remembering things. And when you got uh it's just your history. The more accurate your history is that you understand, whether it's the biblical history or your own ethnicity history, they all intertwine, man. And it's so it's not a bad thing to know. And it's like no one can trick you and make you think you're someone else that you're not. And that's part of it too, is that uh, you know, uh we've been intentionally dumbed down to who we really are. Who possibly could be. And even if we're not, it doesn't matter, because you're still uh, uh candidate to get the truth and these revelations, and I mean, there's just certain understandings that come with knowing these certain things and how true they are, and then you see confirmation all the time, constantly, because it also is confirmation of the times in which we are living. It was a time like when Noah. It's also a time like when Christ was crucified. It's political upheaval, turmoil, uh, plots and schemes, and wickedness in high places, and corrupt law and system, and just danger, treacherous, perilous times. False religions, religious profit, gaming the system. You know what I'm saying? These type of things were all going on there, and they're going on here now, and like they're so going on here in such crazy ways right now. And you know, so and Jesus bought all the sinners and these innocent ones with his with the blood of Jesus. The blood of the sacrifice. So keep these things in remembrance. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget about the innocent who cannot cry out no more. You know, when that happens, it shows that you live in a wicked time in a wicked nation, and there's no judgment in the land, and that's probably because people have been brainwashed and intentionally, deliberately misled about their history. Because I heard that basically Egypt learned the hustle, the kung fu hustle from uh, Babylon, from Nimrod, basically. Then when the Greeks took over Egypt, they learned it from Egypt. And then when the other two little kingdoms come take that over, the Persians and the Syrians, I think, and then the Romans take over after that, and then the American Roman English alliance was next, and each culture stole all the information from the each culture from before, and then leaked it to the public that this society learned the stuff that they stole from the last society, and it's a big cover up. And if anyone would come clean, there'd be so many dirty parties and it would just show that everything was such a fraud that everyone's just mutually invested into the lie because they mutually profit from it, and it's part of the agenda. So if you forget who you are, that's a symptom of Egypt and the spirit of Egypt and Sodom in bondage. So uh, these are things. This is also no judgment in the land and no truth in the land. You know what I'm saying? Or less truth than there should be. His people perish for lack of knowledge, and that's for a reason. There's not a lack of reason for that lack of knowledge. Some are willingly ignorant, as it says in Isaiah, and some just lack the line upon line and precept upon precept, and they ain't done little by little. They just done a little, and you know. So, and then there's another thing when you're sitting there and for some whatever reason these things come to you and you remember them and just repeat what was given to me there, because I mean it's yeah, I might not be the greatest person in the world, but even me, I can cry out for the innocent who were killed, and it's just no one talks about it, and you can't act like that's a bad thing. That should be a great thing, a good thing. But why is it evil to cry out for the innocent who could not cry out no more, and not forget them, and not forget that the fact that uh, there was a reason behind why they got snuffed out, and we're supposed to see out these things, these matters, and do what we can about them. You know what I mean? And at least call things as they are, and give credit unto whom credit is due. Only there ain't no reason to only. Uh, I mean, you can be guilty just by omission, just by not acknowledging something that can be acknowledged and perceived and proven. You know what I'm saying? It sucks, but people get caught in these in these personal, pride things, putting the pride on the line, and they get emotionally invested in something, and it just to hear anything, they just don't want to hear some things, but these so many of these things, the truth will set them free. But it's just difficult times, these days. You got to not only know the word and seek it out, but then also you got to live it too. If I wasn't out just chilling under the sun in the grass, uh, looking at, the moon was coming out, but it was still daylight. It was a beautiful day, and these things came to me, and I'm glad because it's more confirmation on that I'm just the stuff's it's good that God still sends you little messages, little clues, and little nudges. You're at least going something. You're doing something right. That's a good feeling.